So ever since this current crisis has been going on, I get a lot of questions every day about bullets. I mean, people can't find bullets. When they find bullets, they don't know what kind to get. When they get bullets, they don't know the difference between bullets. So today we're just going to do a little overview on different types of bullets and why people consider some good, why people consider some bad, what you should do right now. Now, there was a time when I would very rarely or never put steel ammunition in my American guns. And I say my American guns because in an AK, steel ammunition is pretty good. But in an AR, other guns, you sometimes run into problems. So now what is steel ammunition? Okay, so here I have all of these bullets are 5.56 for the AR. This is some Russian steel case. It's from a company called Tula. Russian steel case. This is 55 grain. This is 62 grain. Now, what is a grain? A grain is the way they measure the weight of a bullet. So these 62 grain, they actually have a steel core, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the reason that a lot of people don't feel like you should get steel case bullets. So the main reason is it makes your gun dirtier. So when you have a brass casing, when the bullet comes out, that casing expands, shoots the bullet forward. Well, steel does not expand as much, so you don't get a gas seal, as much of a gas seal as you do with brass, which allows carbon and gunk to back up into your gun. So the steel case ammo really makes your firearm a little bit dirtier. You have to clean it more often. When you don't clean it more often, it leads to jams and things like that. So if you're out and all there is a steel ammo, there was a time when I would have told you, if you have an AR, I would have been like, pass it up, get whatever you can right now. And that's my opinion on that. So the other thing is hollow points, full metal jackets, things like that. So here I have 3 .45 caliber bullets. This is a jacketed hollow point. This is also a hollow point. But as you can see, it has something in there, rubber in it. This is a full metal jacket. Okay, so the main difference between hollow points and full metal jackets, okay, well, before I talk about the difference, talk about what they're used for. So a hollow point is also called defensive rounds. So these are for defense. If someone's breaking into your house, if you actually have to use your firearm to defend yourself, you would usually prefer to have a hollow point in there. Now, these are mostly used for shooting targets. Some people call them wad cutters. They have a bunch of different names, but mostly for shooting targets. But these will kill. The main difference is these are prone to over-penetration. So this bullet won't deform as much when it hits a target. So a hollow point is made to, when it hits a target, it deforms. It mushrooms. It just deforms, goes out of shape, and it creates a much bigger wound and a much bigger wound path. This is much more prone to just going straight in and out. Just creating a hole and going through, which is often good enough to, it's definitely good enough to cause a lot of damage. Definitely good enough to kill someone. But this hollow point will cause much more damage. So once this hits, you see that hole? It fills with things. Again, it mushrooms and just creates a bigger wound channel. So when you have something like this that has that rubber in there, all that does is create that mushroom just a little bit faster because it doesn't have to wait until something goes into that hole. It just begins to mushroom automatically. So what should you get right now? I have a nice amount of hollow points, but I have mostly full metal jackets. And the reason is because most of my shooting, and if I'm lucky, all of my shooting will be done on the range. But I'm always prepared to defend myself. So you absolutely want a certain amount of defensive rounds in case you need to use them. But, since mostly what you're going to be doing with your firearm is practicing, make sure that you have a nice amount of full metal jackets. Nowadays, there have been sometimes I've gone into a store and all they had was hollow points, and I didn't get them right now. And the reason is because hollow points are also much more expensive. So, right now with the ammo shortage and the way things are going and the fact that bullets are so expensive, I want to get the most for my money. And the most for my money right now is Full Metal Jackets. But again, I have a nice amount of hollow points already. So if you don't, you want to go get some defensive rounds, but you want to stock mostly up on Full Metal Jackets. So if you have any questions, I hope you've been asking questions the whole time you're watching this. Just type them in, ask them later, and I'll answer them as best as I can. But, to go back, steel case and brass, if you have questions about that, but also hollow points and Full Metal Jackets. So any questions, let me know. We'll answer your questions later. Have a good one.